at it, and then now we can transition to. It appears that the spillover has turned into FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt about Binance.
The
And
next
now
domino.
Yeah, the next domino.
it would be the final domino. I mean,
Binance collapse, crypto's like, why are we?
I don't think so.
well, these are natural
It
cycles.
would hurt it.
Just-
I
It
don't
would
think
hurt
it-
a
I
lot.
don't think
It
it
would
would
hurt
hurt.
Wipe out every poser. Wipe out everybody.
So CZ is the next guy in line.
I don't think it's going to happen, but we had some of the statistics and we've been sharing them.
Well, it's been surviving.
It's been
right
about
now.
$1 billion of outflows.
3 billion.
Yeah.
3 billion over the last
24, 48 hours.
48 because
Yeah.
I heard that it was 1 the first day, but it's been ramping
It's
up.
3 billion.
People are very scared that they're going to be insolvent. And there's a lot of BUSD, which is Binance USD.
Well, yeah.
That's half their treasury.
They're-
It's a lot like FTX.
They're all, and there's all this report that they're over collateralized. Like if you look at their balance sheet, it's all Tether, BUSD, which is their version of dollars, and then Binance. So over 70% of their thing.
I think people are trying to do the same thing to FTX as what CZ actually sort of did to them. Now they're trying to do that to them. Exactly.
Scare them.
And then have a bank run and sell.
Well, that's
all
what,
the
that's what they're saying that FTX.
I think it'll be a lot harder
So,
to do that to buy.
FTX manipulated for the Voyager bid. They were neck and neck, and then
FTX took out Voyager.
yeah.
That's why they're
FTX
up for wire fraud and marketing.
They took out Binance they've spread some FUD about Binance, so they were competitive bid. So it's crazy.
But for Binance, what I had heard is that their Bitcoin is over collateralized and it's provable on chain.
They have a much bigger reserve than FTX did. 6 times as big. It's going to be a lot harder to take
At
down.
the end of the day, as a business person, I know that you have some overhead, but how do their fees not cover the overhead?
They
But
billions
also
a year in fees.
they're overdoing the FUD. People are trying to blame them as a Chinese company, and they're actually a Canadian company. And he's like, I'm
what do you mean Canadian?
Well, yeah.
CZ's Canadian.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
CZ is now international.
But
of the world.
he's been a Canadian for 11 years.
He identifies as a
He's
Canadian.
identified.
Yeah,
as a
but
Canadian.
Canada, no.
That's a
at
very
this
messy
point,
construction.
This is one of the things where him and Musk,
He's
and
not
a couple people,
he's not manipulated by the Chinese.
there are
government.
global governments that are in competition with Binance.
Definitely.
He has to talk to the
US government is
Yes,
looking to
but
take
he's
them
not
out,
manipulated
100%.
by the Chinese government.
Dude,
It's not
even about China though. It's about crypto.
Yeah.
That's what the US government wants to
That's
attack.
true. That's true.
Or at least a lot of people in the government, not everyone in the government.
So
yeah.
getting an account on Binance US is not as easy as getting an account on the other one.
Binance US is
That's
going
why
to
you
the
need
Chinese.
VPN.
It's way different than the rest of Binance,
It's hard.
which is insane.
Just like
KuCoin.
FTX US is
KuCoin's
garbage.
not.
Just
I
like
claim-
Like
garbage.
they make you upload a government ID now, so it's like more U.S. compliant.
He was talking shit about
exchanges.
SBF too, Brian Armstrong.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Because they're actually, they were talking shit about how they're based in Bahamas and they're based in D.C. So it's like, we chose to be based in the U.S. so that we're SEC compliant or whatever. It's like compliant with U.S. regulations.
The U.S. has been leaning on Coinbase.
FTX,
That's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Because they used to be way more crypto.
And maybe
but-
that's smart. Maybe that's smart to
Well, we're kind of going
with
full
the US
circle back
base.
to the.
Yeah, I was going to bring it back to Binance. I'd say the 2 big takeaways here are what CZ is doing on Twitter and just kind of in general is mirroring a lot of the things SBF did before FTX collapsed. And that is people really scared. I think that's the main reason.
There was that
that's
one
happening.
FUD where they were
Yes.
like, we're moving stuff from one wallet to another, and nothing is a big deal.
And then the second thing on top of that, this is my theory. I don't know if this is true, but I think that there is a manipulation, a very coordinated effort to FUD Binance because I think big players are short BNB. That's my theory.
Well,
I have no evidence to back
right
that
now
up.
they should shake out the retail. Retail has bled
It's
so
already
dry.
out.
And I think the
Retail's
big
out.
money,
I
the
agree.
big money has no.
Retail's out.
And the
can feel
people who
squeezing-
have sold won't sell now.
Well, what I've been saying
It's
is
just-
that
They just choose to
gonna
forget
sit
about it.
on.
there's
Yeah.
the flip side of there's the retail now, and it's the effect of South Korea. In South Korea, there is no hope of an average person ever saving enough money to get an apartment. So they all gamble.
Isn't Japan similar?
It's similar. So now you constantly are just shaking out the new money. And then if you just have these hopeless gamblers that are the retail millennials, like you just constantly be shaking.
China's still a big market, even though it's illegal. You know,
Yeah.
it's pretty
So,
crazy.
Gabe and
India's
Brian
all the
might
miners and all the miners have
yeah.
left.
you might think that the shakeout has happened, but there's these just hopeless people that are gambling on crypto that constantly are being shaken out by big money.
I honestly think that we don't go lower unless Binance implodes, and even if
Exactly,
Binance
right.
implodes, like the lowest.
But like
Bitcoin
people are
goes is
bad. I
10K.
think like for me too. I think like people are like, why not FTX? Why not Binance?
The regulations are coming, and that's what's going to take it lower.
But the U.S. isn't the only country in the world. Like that's what we have to keep in mind.
I
here.
mean, Singapore
The
started
biggest-
roll back on their crypto
Until
too.
2 years ago, the biggest markets were in Asia. They weren't even the U.S.
But
The
yeah,
U.S. is like a pretty
But
new
like Singapore is rolling back. Like Dubai is becoming the premier like international place.
The U.S. is not the whole world.
Port-
All the regulations will hurt crypto in the U.S.
It's
not gonna
basically
be the end.
Dubai. People are trying to set up shop in Dubai.
The U.S. regulations won't apply anywhere outside of the U.S.
That's true.
That's what we have to keep in mind about this.
That's true.
It's literally, and people will find ways around those, like they always have.
Yeah.
Like
Start like have bank accounts in Switzerland, like just basic.
anybody with real money is not going to be very affected by the regulations in the U.S. They'll just take everything elsewhere. That's just how it always works. That's how it's always worked in China.